I have 25 agents running 24/7 autonomously around the clock. I have a CTO inspired by Elon Musk, a CMO inspired by Gary Vaynerchuk, and then a CRO inspired by Warren Buffett. And I manage all of them from one dashboard that I've been slowly building out and improving on. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how it works. So without further ado, let's build. As you can see here on the screen, here's Muddy OS. I have different applications within it. This is the operations application. I'm not going to dig into these right now. We'll save that for another video. But I replicated, a mix between Windows and Mac, right? We put these icons on the top right, that's just the Windows guy in me. But let's dig into the tabs, shall we? The task manager shows off how many sessions are running, what's idle, how many tokens, what's the estimated cost. It shows my model fleet that we utilize, which is Opus 4.6 for a lot of the heavy lifting. We have a backup for Opus 4.5 anti-gravity via anti-gravity OAuth. And then we have Gemini 3 Pro Preview. We're using GPT 5.3 codecs, Gemini 3 Flash, and Nano Banana Pro. As you can see here, I have a list of all active sessions that allow me to view the transcript of any particular session. You go down, I have all my cron jobs in place here. I have weekly jobs in place here. I have an overnight log here, which helps me just kind of briefly look at this once a day. And if I have any questions, concerns, or comments, I feed it into the chat, right? All right, the org chart. This is where I've spent the most time going back and forth with different approaches, different structures. And I believe I've nailed the winner, right? I have me up top, the CEO, focused on vision, strategy, final decisions. Additionally, I make these videos and do these live streams. That's not going to change anytime soon. I have my COO, Muddy. Originally, when I made Openclaw, I just wanted an executive assistant, but my vision, my imagination grew once I learned and started testing its capabilities. So Muddy's focus is research, delegation, which is a key note. Muddy is always available to me. He never queues prompts. He always delegates, unless of course I tell him to do it now. Then he'll do that task at hand now. Execution and orchestration. Then below we have our 3 department heads. We have a CTO named Elon, shout out Elon Musk. We have a CMO named Gary, shout out Gary Vaynerchuk. And then we have a CRO named Warren, shout out Warren Buffett. I'm going to expand all just to show you my current setup as of recording this on February 10th. Keep in mind, I'm constantly making improvements to this. And, every week I make significant adjustments to the way things flow. And after a few weeks of operation, I am very happy with where things are, but keep in mind, things will change. So if you want to see an updated video on this down the road, drop a comment below. Let me know that you like this video. Make sure you hit like as well. So as you can see here, I have different divisions underneath each department. I have a backend and security division. I have subagents that are assigned Codex 5.3 and Opus 4.6, depending on the task. Opus 4.6 is primarily a failsafe. Same with Cypher, right? These two are my Codex 5.3 heavy subagents. And then I have a front end and DevOps division with Pixel and Sentry operating solely off of Opus 4.6. Then I have a QA division, which just has one subagent as of now called Audit. And that's a Codex 5.3 and 4.6 Opus hybrid. Then we move over to my marketing division, right? Gary's leading this one. We have a content division. We have Rex, our YouTube scriptwriter, which uses a pairing of Opus 4.6 for the research and heavy lifting, preparing the script. And then we have Sonnet 4.5 doing the output. I found that this is an amazing pairing with how I've configured this system. Sage Research and Analysis Agent is Opus 4.6. Our newsletter engine is Opus 4.6. Hype, which is going to automate all of our content posting down the road. Hype, which is essentially an automation to posting all of our content that is B-roll or copy based off of a long form video, uses Sonnet 4.5. Creative, thumbnails and graphics, Opus 4.6 with a hint of Nano Banana Pro. And then video and motion graphics, as of now, that's Gemini 3 Pro. Now, moving on to Warren's department here, our chief revenue officer. We have a products subdivision with a product intelligent scout, and then product launches and announcements Herald, right? You can see the models being used here. Growth, community. I'm not going to dig into it. One thing I do want to touch on though is my community division is actually killing it right now, and it uses one of the cheapest models out there, which is Gemini 3 Flash. It's amazing. Now, keep in mind, Clay, as you're about to find out later in this demo, he has its own workspace, his own brain, his own heartbeat. So the reason Gemini 3 Flash is working so well is because I've fed it a ton of context so that it works the way I want it to work, right? So this is my team. This is all the agents. It is amazing what I've been able to accomplish with this team in place. Today, I just incorporated a stand-up part of this app. These are 2 stand-ups that I created for this demonstration. I'm starting to get a lot of people reach out to the channel. They want me to start either pasting links in videos or promoting tools. I have a very strict rule where if I don't stand behind a product that I think you'll find useful, I will not promote it. It's just, I throw it out the window, right? I have to test something thoroughly before I even think about a partnership. And there's a few other criteria in there. So I had a stand up earlier today with my C-suite team, right? All of my leads. And primarily it was Muddy leading the conversation here. And they literally had a full-on conversation back and forth, as you can see here. Then I built out this, action items list where before they take action, right, things are unchecked. Once they take action, I get this. Once it's all done, I can go and review all of the changes and additions and work done. It is amazing, right? Absolutely amazing. And then one other fun feature I incorporated into this is I didn't use 11 Labs for this. I used an open source model by Microsoft, but check this out. I have a ping on Telegram once the stand-up is complete that I can listen to.
All right, team, let's get into it. Marcelo's getting inbound partnership requests, companies wanting to pay for links in videos, product mentions, that kind of thing. We've never monetized, so we need a proper pipeline. Not some janky thing we throw together, a real
Good. First thing I want to say, and I cannot stress this enough, the fact that we're getting inbound at 520 subscribers is a signal. It means our audience.
So
Facts.
It's very slow paced, but I'm going to improve on the voice, right? This is version 1. Well, it's version 2, right? Because at first it was all just one static voice and I had to start giving them personalities and cater them to each person. Check out Gary's.
The engagement rate on our videos is way above average for the.
So very upbeat, speaks very quickly, just like Gary, right? It's pretty cool. I love it. So yeah, literally they have a conversation without me. I mean, it's blowing my mind here. What I just accomplished today from entering in these 2 stand-up meeting topics. And I've also set an automation in place where they do this autonomously as well. They're setting up their own chat room to communicate with themselves. And once that's in place, I'm going to be able to view that chat room in here as a moderator as well. Now, moving on to Workspaces, right? This is what brings everything together. As I mentioned earlier, Clay has its own identity. He has its own soul. He has its own identity. He has its own, obviously, user context. I didn't give him any context about me because it was unnecessary for the bot. It has its own suite of tools that it has access to. Any agents that we assign it to, right? Memory. I wanted to specifically set up memory for this Clay bot because I want it to start remembering conversations and important dates. And if it has a conversation with somebody about something they're working on, it will check in with them, right? So I really wanted Clay to really be a hands-on community member. Now, Elon has its own soul. Now, one distinction I want to make here is we have Muddy, my main brain, right? This is where I've fed countless hours of context into its memory right here. It's insane how much I've fed it. that's like the move. That's the main brain, right? Then we have Elon. We have a soul, and it's based off of, right, Elon Musk, the person, but a mix of certain characteristics I want to focus on, right? Now, the key differentiator here between Elon and Clay has his own heartbeat because I wanted him to have his own gateway to work out of. Whereas Elon, Gary, and Warren do not have their own gateway. They technically are co-located with Muddy's gateway, right? Because they all communicate together. So I didn't see a reason to complicate the system, at least not yet. I'm sure this will change with time, but as of now, the key differentiator right now between this individual bot that has its own gateway with its own heartbeat is Muddy, Elon, Gary, Warren all operate off of the same gateway. And what's really cool is as I improve the system, I have a rule in place with Muddy that whatever's done across the ops dashboard, any new tabs, any existing tabs, any changes that it makes that are relevant to an agent workspace, it updates this workspace. So I have a place to reference how things are built, right? And then moving on to the last one is docs. Currently, I only set up the documentation for ops because this is the application I'm focused on most within Muddy OS, but real time, it updates the documentation as well. Like my agents and my department heads can reference the documentation. It can reference everything within this OS as well. So, I mean, I have just been floored by the capabilities of Openclaw. Once you have that imagination, almost anything is possible. I just want to say thank you to Peter. Thank you for taking the time to build this. Thank you for making this open source. You're the GOAT. You are the GOAT. You're making all this possible. Yeah, thank you. So if you have any questions at all about my operating system, about this ops dashboard, drop a comment below. Let me know what your question is. Let me know what you want me to expand on. And yeah, I'm not an AI expert. I'm building in public and sharing what actually works. If you'd like to see me make a particular video around a specific topic, drop a comment below. Let me know who you are, what you do, who your target audience is, and what your question is, and I will add a video to my queue, custom tailored just for you. Thank you so much for tuning into today's video. My name is Marcelo. This is Clearmud, and clarity matters.